Morning, rest in the world. It's Tuesday, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, and this morning we were reviewing the legacies of the Atlantic Revolution. There was a lot of ground to cover. Today was in some ways a byproduct of our lost snow days in trying to make up for ground that we had lost at earlier stages. But let me see if I can bring together a few of the key thoughts that we were discussing. So we focused in, of course, on the French Revolution, which is the sort of central event in this era of Atlantic revolutions between 1776 and about 1825. And we talked about the French Revolution in sort of three phases. An early sort of phase that's characterized by negotiations in the direction of a mixed monarchy. We talked about the radical revolution phase, in which the king is deposed, executed eventually, and finally the Committee on Public Safety is ushered in to establish a radical republic. And then lastly, after the failure, the violence of the Reign of Terror, we see the foundation of the Napoleonic phase of the French Revolution, with the rise of Napoleon Bonaparte and the French military more generally. And what we see in the revolution then is this trajectory from absolute monarchy to mixed monarchy to republic, an absence of a king, to emperor, and then ultimately, once Napoleon is defeated, a return to monarchy. And so, of course, this raises the question, well, was the whole French Revolution a failure? Was this movement in the direction of citizenship and rights largely thwarted by the established powers? In some senses, we said that's true, right? The Congress of Vienna, which reorients the map of Europe and tries to reestablish the status quo before the war, very much has that in mind. As they try to build what they think are legitimate governments in their conservative worldview. But on the other hand, we know that the ideas that were sort of brought about and fostered in this French Revolution period, ideas of liberalism and individual liberty, ideas surrounding especially nationalism, the question of where does one derive identity and to what kind of entity does one belong, are going to be central questions. And we saw that France itself has another revolution in 1830, yet another in 1848, in a time when, in fact, these sorts of revolutions are beginning to spread throughout Europe. And, of course, beyond the boundaries of France itself, there are revolutions in Haiti, and then spreading into the rest of Latin America, that are very much based on these same kinds of arguments. And so while it seems that Europe itself is not quite ready to adapt to these changes, we see the ideas spreading more and more broadly. This is not necessarily a mass movement in the direction of democracy, at least not yet, but it is a movement in that direction of sovereignty invested in the citizens of the nation, a question of who has the right to rule, and that will not be so easily reversed. We'll talk more about these things in the days ahead. Have a good day, and I will see you on Thursday.